She came to the hospital for answers. She left running for her life. What she discovered in that consulting room was not just a pregnancy. It was a secret powerful enough to destroy everything she knew. This is the doctor's warning. Before we begin, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Stories like this drop every week, and trust me, you do not want to miss what comes next. Now, let's get into it. The waiting room at St. Luke's Specialist Hospital smelled of antiseptic and anxiety. Phones buzzed softly. Somewhere down the hall, a baby cried. Nurses moved with purpose, clipboards in hand, heels clicking against polished floors. But Adaora Oko sat completely still, frozen on a plastic chair. Fingers locked so tightly around her handbag that her knuckles had gone pale. Her test results were ready. She had been shaking since 7 a.m. Not because she was afraid of being pregnant. She was afraid of what the pregnancy meant. Because the man who might be the father of her child was a man who had looked her in the eyes and lied, smoothly, repeatedly, convincingly, the way only truly dangerous people can. His name was Chike, and she had only just begun to understand who he really was. Dr. Hassan appeared at the consulting room door, calm, professional. His glasses caught the white ceiling lights as he scanned the waiting area. "Adaora?" he called softly. Her throat tightened. "Yes, doctor." "Come inside." She followed him in. Her heart beat loud in her own ears. Her palms were damp. She sat across from him, eyes fixed on the sealed envelope on his desk. Dr. Hassan folded his hands and looked at her. "You look scared," he said. "Should I be?" she whispered. He sighed, the kind of sigh that carries weight. "I need you to listen carefully. What I'm about to tell you is serious." Adaora's stomach dropped. "Is it the baby?" she asked. He paused, just briefly, but she felt it like a blade. "First," he said, "you are pregnant, about 5 weeks." Her vision blurred. Oh my God. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Her hand went instinctively to her flat stomach, but the doctor wasn't smiling. "And second," he continued, "your blood work shows some unusual markers, compounds that shouldn't be present in someone who hasn't been prescribed anything." Adaora blinked. "What kind of compounds?" "Traces consistent with a testosterone-based performance drug," he said. "Something illegal unless monitored by a specialist. The kind only available through a black market supplier or a rogue doctor." He let that land. "These drugs cause elevated aggression, mood instability, and violent, unpredictable behavior in the men who take them." Adaora stared at him. "Chike," she whispered, "what did you do to me?" Chike, handsome, wealthy, the kind of man who walked into a room and owned it without saying a word. Adaora had fallen for him the way you fall into deep water, slowly at first, then all at once, and by the time you realize it, you're already too far from shore. He had told her she was his peace, his safe place. He had promised to leave his complicated situation. An engagement to a woman who openly admitted she cared more about the wedding than the marriage, and start something real with Adaora. She had believed him. For 8 months, she had believed him. And then the cracks appeared. A wall, punched during an argument, a wrist gripped far too tightly, a taxi driver threatened over 500 naira, always followed, the next morning, by flowers, by apologies, by that disarming smile. She had broken things off 3 weeks ago, or so she thought. Back in the consulting room, Dr. Hassan pushed a form across the desk. Whoever this man is, Adaora, he's hiding something, and hiding it deliberately. Someone supplies him, someone monitors his dosage, or doesn't. She swallowed hard. Doctor, what should I do? He looked at her steadily. Leave him. Cut all ties. Block him everywhere. Do it quietly, and do it today. Is it that serious? Yes. He lowered his voice. And Adaora, tell no one where you're going. Not until you're somewhere safe. She felt cold. Why? What do you know? Dr. Hassan hesitated. Because someone came here this morning, asking for you. The blood drained from her face. Who? A man, tall, light-skinned, expensive suit. He wanted your results. Said it was urgent. Adaora's mouth went dry. That's Chike. I refuse to release anything to him, the doctor said firmly. When he pressed the staff, we had to call security. Dr. Hassan stood and moved to the window. He lifted the blind with 2 fingers, looked out, then turned back. His voice dropped to almost nothing. He's still here, waiting in his car. Before we go further, drop a comment below right now. Did you notice the red flags with Chike before this moment? Because Adaora missed them, or maybe she chose not to see them. Tell me what you think, and if you're watching this on your phone, share this video. Someone you know needs to hear this story. Now, back to Adaora. Dr. Hassan didn't hesitate. He grabbed his coat, took Adaora's arm, and steered her away from the main corridor through a side hallway, past supply rooms and a staff exit. Move quickly, he said. Don't look back. But Adaora did. Through the glass panel at the far end of the hall, she could see the car park. Chike's Mercedes sat perfectly still. He hadn't moved. His eyes were fixed on the hospital entrance. His fingers drummed the steering wheel in a slow, deliberate rhythm. The rhythm of a man absolutely certain that patience would reward him. Her legs nearly gave out. Go, Dr. Hassan said. Through that door. Now! She pushed through the back exit. Cold air hit her face like a slap. She clutched her bag and ran toward the back gate. And then a voice from behind a concrete pillar. Adaora. She froze. Chike stepped into the light, shirt half unbuttoned, tie loosened, eyes burning with something that had long stopped being love. Ada, he said softly, why are you running from me? She took a step back. Chike, please, not here. Did you get your results? He stepped closer. What did the doctor say? Nothing. Please move. He smiled. It was the worst smile she had ever seen. Slow, knowing, completely without warmth. You're carrying my child, Ada. I can feel it. How do you... Come with me. He reached for her hand. We have things to talk about. She yanked her arm away. Don't touch me. Something in his eyes shifted, instantly, like a circuit tripping. Are you afraid of me? He asked. Yes, she said. I am. He went very still. "You're not going anywhere," he said quietly. A hand landed on her shoulder. She screamed, "Sir, step away from my patient." Dr. Hassan. He had followed her out. He stood between them now, unarmed, slight, but completely steady. Chike's jaw tightened. "Doctor, I suggest you mind your business." "I am minding it." The two men stared at each other. Then Chike's lips curved into that cold smile. "This isn't over," he said. He turned, got in his Mercedes, drove off slowly, deliberately, the way you leave a room when you want everyone to know you'll be back. Adaora collapsed against the wall, sobbing. Dr. Hassan held her steady. "This child needs a safe mother," he said. "You need to go somewhere he cannot reach you." "Where?" she wept. "Where do I even go?" A pause. "I know a place," he said finally. "I'll take you myself." 20 minutes later, they turned into a quiet street with no signboards, no shops, just neat duplexes and silence. Dr. Hassan led her through a narrow side gate into a single-story bungalow painted cream. Inside, the air smelled faintly of lavender. Women moved quietly through the hallways, some with bruises, some holding toddlers close, some simply sitting, staring at nothing, processing things too heavy for words. A matron with a soft, round face came to meet them. "Dr. Hassan," she said quietly. "New case?" "Yes." "High risk. She needs immediate intake." "High risk." The words settled in Adaora's chest like stones. The matron showed her to a small room, a single bed, white curtains, a wooden desk, a panic bell mounted on the wall. "No calls to anyone unless cleared," the matron said. "No social media. Do not step outside alone." Adaora nodded. Dr. Hassan lingered at the door. "I'll check on you tomorrow," he said. "Thank you, doctor," she whispered. "For everything." He nodded and left. The door clicked shut. Silence. Adaora sat on the edge of the bed, hand pressed gently over her belly. She breathed. In, out, in, out. Her phone buzzed. She had forgotten to switch it off. One notification glowed on the screen. Chike. "Ada, open the door." The room tilted. She crossed to the window and pulled the curtain aside. Just a sliver. The compound was empty. Then, a shadow shifted near the gate. Tall, light-skinned, a familiar shirt. 3 sharp knocks at her door. She screamed, "Adaora! It's the matron! Are you all right?" She tore the door open, gasping. "He's here. Chike is here. He sent me a message. He knows where I am." The matron grabbed the phone, read the screen, and went pale. She ran to the intercom without another word. "Close the gates, now." Heavy metal clanged shut outside. "We are relocating you tonight," the matron said. The intercom crackled. A guard's voice, unsteady. "Madam, there's a man outside the gate." A pause. "He's asking for Adaora." Another pause. "And ma'am, he's angry." The matron locked eyes with Adaora. "It's starting," she whispered. "We are just getting to the worst part of this story. Don't go anywhere. And if someone sent you this video, they want you to watch till the end. Trust them. Keep watching." Adaora's scream never left her throat. Not when the matron locked the bedroom door. Not when heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway outside. She pressed her back against the wall, both hands over her mouth, listening. It wasn't Chike's voice that froze her. It was a whisper from inside the room. Adaora, don't run. She spun around. Dr. Hassan. He had come through the connecting door at the back of the room. His face was tense, eyes darker than she had ever seen them. He shut the door quietly behind him, as though sealing something in. "Doctor," she breathed, "why are you here? You said you left." The matron stepped away from him, her back against the far wall, trembling. "I tried to tell you," the matron said to Adaora. "Someone inside this house was leaking our location. I just didn't know who until tonight." Adaora's gaze snapped back to the doctor. "You?" she gasped. He didn't answer. His phone buzzed in his hand. A message from Chike. "Open the back gate. I'm close." The walls of the room seemed to close in. "You led him here," Adaora said. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "All of this, the hospital, the safe house, you led him here the whole time?" Dr. Hassan exhaled a long, shaking breath. "I didn't intend for it to go this far." His voice cracked. "I was his supplier. The medication, the injections. I'm the one who provided them. He came to me 2 years ago. Said he only wanted more energy, better performance. He seemed stable. I didn't know." "You didn't know?" Adaora's voice broke. "You saw what he did to me outside the hospital. You saw his face." "I know." He pressed his eyes shut. "And when he came to my office this morning raging, demanding your results, threatening my children by name, that's when I finally understood what I had created." The matron's voice cut like glass. "You betrayed every woman in this house." "Yes," he said, "just that. No excuse. No softening. I am trying to fix it now. That's why I'm here. Not to hand her over. To get her out before he forces his way in." A thunderous crash shook the building. Metal, wood splintering. Then Chike's voice, unhinged, raw, stripped of every layer of charm he had ever worn. "Adaora!" He had jumped the perimeter fence. The matron ran to the intercom, screaming for the guards. But Chike was already inside. His footsteps thundered down the hallway. Doors rattled as he checked each room. Women screamed somewhere deeper in the building. The matron moved to block the corridor. He shoved her without breaking his stride. She hit the floor hard. Adaora screamed. Dr. Hassan stepped in front of her. Chike filled the doorway, chest heaving, eyes wild, something metallic glinting in his right hand. Small. Enough. "Get out of my way, doctor," he said, very quietly. "This isn't about you." "It is now," Dr. Hassan said. Chike lunged. A struggle, brief, brutal, desperate, then a grunt. Dr. Hassan staggered backward, clutching his side. Dark red spread beneath his fingers. "Run," he breathed. "Adaora. Run. Now." Chike raised his hand again. Adora's eyes swept the room. She grabbed it. She swung it with everything she had. Every sleepless night, every bruised wrist, every lie she had ever been told, wrapped into one single savage arc. It connected with Chike's shoulder, with a sound like a car accident. He roared, hit the wall, and slid down it. Adaora didn't wait. She dragged Dr. Hassan toward the emergency exit as guards finally flooded the corridor behind them. Shouts, chaos, an alarm splitting the night air, then police sirens, blue and red light washing across the compound walls, 2 officers, then 4, Chike on his knees in the courtyard, arms pinned behind him, screaming her name like a curse, like a prayer, like the last act of a man who had never been told no and couldn't survive hearing it. Dr. Hassan lay nearby, conscious, pressing his coat against his side. The matron knelt over him. "You saved her," she said. He shook his head weakly. "I almost destroyed her. Everything that happened tonight, I built it, piece by piece." He winced. "But I couldn't let him win." Adaora crouched beside him. She took his hand. "Tell the police everything," she said. "The supplier, the drugs, every name." He met her eyes. "I will," he said. "I promise." By the time sunrise touched the walls of the safe house, Chike was in handcuffs. His supplier was arrested 4 hours later. Identified from records Dr. Hassan handed over willingly, completely. Dr. Hassan survived. He agreed to testify against both Chike and the wider network that had been supplying illegal performance drugs across the city for years. Adaora gave her full statement. Every incident, every bruise she had explained away, every flower that had followed every act of violence, all of it, on record, out of the shadows, in the light where it belonged. Justice had begun. And for the first time in as long as she could remember, Adaora slept. When she woke, morning light was filtering through the white curtains. Her hand rested on her belly, that tiny, impossible, terrifying life. Still there, still holding on. She reached for her phone. One new message, unknown number. She opened it. "We know what you told the police. Chike wasn't the only one." Adaora went very still. She read it again, and again. Then she set the phone down, stood up, and walked to the window. Outside, the street was quiet, ordinary, safe-looking. She had survived the man she loved. She had survived betrayal wrapped in a doctor's coat. She had swung the extinguisher and run through the dark and told the truth when it cost her everything. But the truth, it seemed, had its own enemies, and someone else was coming. Sometimes the greatest danger is the person you once loved. Sometimes the warning comes too late. And sometimes the woman they underestimated is the very last thing they ever expect. Adaora's story is not over. The Doctor's Warning. Part 2 is coming. Subscribe so you don't miss it and hit the bell icon so YouTube actually notifies you when it drops. Before you leave, share this video. Someone somewhere is in a situation they can't see clearly. Sometimes a story is the thing that opens their eyes. Drop a comment. Did you see the doctor's betrayal coming? Or did it catch you off guard? I'll be reading every single comment. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and never ignore the warning signs. And don't forget to subscribe to K-Scripted.